Hey guys, thanks for watching Homesteading on the Side. I wanted to come on here today and talk to you about how I like to start getting ready for a hurricane. We live here on the panhandle, and as you know, Irma is barreling towards us. Even if she doesn't hit us directly on, she's bigger than our state, so we are likely to get some kind of effect regardless. Around here, people are panicking and looking for water and for bread. Luckily, I know how to make bread, and I can water. This is what this video is about, is to show you how I get water ready for when we need it. I always have a ton of jars just laying around that I don't use. I have a pantry full of canned food, but I always have jars laying around. So when it comes time to start preparing, I just put all those empty jars to good use and can water. And if it comes to where I don't need it, or if I need the jar, you just pour the water out. But there's nothing wrong with the water out of your tap or the water in your well. You drink it anyway. Why not go ahead and can it? Why buy bottled water when you have water that you pay for monthly anyway? So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I can water, and how I like to just store it in an emergency situation. It's getting crazy around here though. All the stores are empty and people are starting to go crazy, and my dad always told me, when you start panicking, you stop thinking. So let's start thinking, stay calm, and let's get this done. Okay, so to get started, you are going to need some canning jars, and make sure that they are canning jars. You don't want the decorative jars or the jars with arts and crafts stuff. You won't get a good seal. So you need canning jars to can water. These are the biggest ones I have. These are the half-gallon, and I usually have quite a few of these because, as you can see, I use it down here to store my dry goods. All these down here are half-gallons, and they are 3 deep. So I always have them on hand, and I'm going to go ahead and do these first. I'll get all my other ones out, show you down here. You see all of my jars. It is just packed in there with just jars. So I'm going to put those to use today and go ahead and start canning up some water, just the event that we need it. So I've got these here, and I'm going to get the biggest stock pot that I own and fill it up with water and bring it up to a boil. So here is my big pot of water, and I just filled it up almost to the top, and I have turned it on high to bring it to a boil. So while this is boiling, go ahead and set up your spot. This is the side beside my sink that I don't use very often. It stores I have a basket here for my onions and garlic and stuff, but I don't really put a whole lot here. So this is usually where I cool any jars that I have canning and stuff like I'm doing today. So this is just a real thick kitchen towel. You don't want to put it right on the hard surface, so get if it's a thin towel, double it up, or this one is relatively thick. So I'm just going to set this down, and I'm going to wash my jars in hot water, hot soapy water, and my lids and rings. You can run them through the dishwasher, but because I'm only doing 4 as of right this second, I don't see the need to run a whole dishwasher load. So let me wash these and wash these, and then I'll let them sit in hot water in the sink until it's time to start canning. So bring this up to a boil and let it boil for 5 minutes. The water has been boiling for 5 minutes, and it is ready to be canned. So I'm going to turn the heat off for now, and these all just came out of the sink. I've got a funnel just because for me it makes life easier, and I'm just going to fill these jars until they are 1/2 inch headspace. So it is 1/2 inch headspace. Take a little bit of vinegar to wipe the rim. Probably not 100% necessary, but better safe than sorry. Take my lid and my band, and be careful because this is boiling water, and screw it down till it's fingertip tight. And then I'm going to turn it upside down, invert it, and put it over there on my pad. So as you can see in my pot, I have enough to fill all of them, plus maybe a 1/2 pint jar. So my pot is good for this, and these are my 4. So they are filled 1/2 inch headspace, fingertip tight lids and bands, and then inverted to let cool. So of course now they are still super hot, but I'm just going to let these sit here and cool. And once they have cooled and are room temperature, flip them over to make sure that they've sealed. So we'll come back as soon as it is time to start that. It is now the next morning and these have completely cooled. Now it's time to flip them over. And they've sealed. Well, that one's sealed. Yep. So these are just going to be stored next to my pantry. And I will do little jars if we need them. And another way to be able to do these is if you have a full canner, if you're canning vegetables or meat or whatever you're canning, and you don't have a whole lot of jars in the canner, fill a jar up with just water and can it with all your vegetables and stuff. That way you've got water if you need it, and you've got a full canner so the jars don't bounce around, move around, and wiggle a whole lot. And then you've always got water. And you can just pour the water out if you don't need it, but you've got it on hand if you do, and this will be good for quite a while. So these are going to go next to my pantry, and time to start canning some more.